All right, this is my daily update for my build and public log. Yesterday was really busy. I worked really hard on this. I'm gonna do a quick demo. What the hell have I been working on? So first of all, I'm trying to build a micro SaaS out of a micro AI agent that I built. I see the same pain almost weekly now. And I want to build a product to address this pain that I'm having. I'm building this first for myself and then for others. What the hell am I building? A tool that you can quickly schedule an event on your calendar from text. That text can be copy and paste from anything that obviously like you would have to like look at and manually go put an event on your calendar. Small thing, takes like what, a couple minutes out of my time, but I frequently have to do this and it drives me nuts. I just want to be able to click and effortlessly add something to my calendar. What the hell did I do yesterday? I ended up spending a lot of yesterday making the queuing system I have. So I built this agents code. This is a framework slash runner for micro AI agents. So I kind of threw this out there to see if there's any interest. A lot of people checked it out, but nobody clicked the buy button. And it's probably, to be blunt, good. Nobody did that. Well, it would have been nice to have feedback, but I see now, after me actually using this thing a lot, I see what needs to be done. There's a lot of work that needs to be done for this thing. So this SaaS is going to call agents code, that agent, that micro agent, the event scheduling agent. But as I've been doing, using it quite a bit, I realized, God, there's so many problems. So not problems. It just needs a lot of work. So yesterday I spent a lot of time on this on the worker scheduling queue, like all of that. I saw some issues and it took me hours. So a good chunk of yesterday was figuring out some funkiness there, fixing that. And the rest of the time was spent just focused on figuring out like what's the best way to have the LLM look at an image and make the event from the image. So I got something working. I'm going to show that off right now. I found this on, this is pretty funny. I found this on Instagram just like randomly. I was trying to find horrible flyers. No offense. Uh, I mean, it's cool. There's a lot of Indians in London. I have no hate, but like even me as a human to look at this and like understand the when is it, where is it, what time, even me as a human, it takes several seconds to like look at this thing and be like, what the fuck? Okay. This is a perfect example. We're going to upload this to the agent and create an event. Now, this is a real demo. Let's see if this works. Every time I try to do a real demo, something fails. And this is all, the UI is all going to change. This is just, I'm just trying to get it working. And then I'm going to work backwards and make the UI better. Looks like it's working. It's so slow. I don't know. That's another thing I need to look at is like, why is it so slow? It's running locally though. It's not like actually running on the server. Let's see. It's the 25th. It is 11 to 5 a.m. 5 a.m. Damn. Man, let me tell you, that better be a good party for me to be there until 5 a.m. Fuck. That better be one rager of a party. Okay. So something is off. So for some reason, it only did to 4 a.m. So this is a good example of what is frustrating about building an agent. So you it almost like perfectly worked, but like the end time was off by an hour. It's like, well, why? Why is it off by an hour? You just don't know because it's like a black box. But I do know partially why it's kind of working, but why is it off? Because the model is not that good. I noticed that with ChatGPT 5, this is all working so much better. But right now it's pointed to 4.0 and it's just not as good of a model. It really isn't. So anyway, so yesterday was a lot of figuring out like how do you actually like programmatically call the LLM with an image? So I took a while to work through that. Took a while to figure out the queue stuff, but I have this basically working. But as you can see, still something off, still not done. So that's what I'm going to be working on today. So I really need the evals to know like what percentage is it working? What percentage does one field fail? Like for example, maybe it gets the date right 99% of the time. What about the end time? How accurate is that? It's so frustrating to not know. And I see this mistake with a lot of people building agents. They have no evaluation at all. They don't even know how to do that. And it's like, well, okay, it works in a demo, but how is this going to hold up in production with real users and real edge cases? It's pretty wild. That it's the wild west with AI agents, and the whole focus for me to build agents code was I wanted really high precision micro agents where I do have that data, and that like the long term roadmap was to do that, to like actually build out the tooling. So there is really high precision. You do have evals, you do have proper testing, but this is not easy stuff. This all takes a lot of work and effort. But I'm gonna make sure to start with this agent in this product. I'm going to have that precision. It's not going to be perfect at first. I'm not going to stop until it is actually like really, really precise. I'm still aiming to get this out the door this week. I want people to be hammering away and trying this out. And honestly, I need this thing. I used this yesterday. I used it like literally. There was a real thing. I copied and pasted and put it in my calendar, and I was like, "Fuck yes, I'm on the right path," because I didn't want to like create that event myself. It was going to take me a couple minutes. All right, on to questions and comments. So questions and comments today. If you are watching this, please, if you could just take a quick moment to drop a comment. Scheduling issues. If you could just type that in, that helps the algorithm a lot. Or just click the like button. That also helps tremendously. I'd super appreciate it. On to my random story for today. So I talked about this in a previous video. I am attempting to read a lot more. Traditionally, I have not been a big reader. I would read a lot of articles, but I wouldn't like read a book like cover to cover. So I used to read a fair amount of news, a fair amount of articles, even some long form pieces, but not like cover to cover books. I'm trying to shift away from like doom scrolling on Twitter or whatever, X, and then watching a bunch of YouTube. I'm trying to like go deeper and read. And I'm doing that by like blocking off a time at my calendar. I'm obsessed with the calendar. But like actually just making it like a non-negotiable part of my day, like this time I'm non-negotiable, I'm sitting down to read. And so the one book I'm reading, I'm almost done with the book actually. It's called Bullshit Jobs. It is written by this author who wrote a article about bullshit jobs like over 10 years ago now, and it got a lot of traction, went viral, and then he was like, oh, I really tapped into something here. And then he did a lot of work to interview people and then write this book. Came out in 2018, so it's a little bit old, but not completely crazy outdated. And it made me think, God, how many bullshit jobs did I have that fit this definition? I won't go into the details of the book, but he has a tight definition of what a bullshit job is. It was more narrowed down than I had in my head what I thought he meant. And I thought, okay, what like true bullshit jobs did I have? And I was like, oh yeah, I had one major bullshit job, and I'm going to tell you about that right now. So about the time when I was about 18 years old, I became a security guard, rent a cop, as we call it, as people often told me. I was a security guard. Boy, did I have some bullshit jobs doing that. So when you're a security guard at that company at the time, at least, you would randomly be placed. They'd be like, okay, you're going over here today. Or this week. This week, you go every day these days to this place and do this at these hours. Okay. Often I felt like I was in a location like, yeah, they actually need someone to like watch over and make sure people aren't running around stealing everything. Some of those jobs made sense, some of those gigs, but some of them were fucking bullshit jobs for sure. Like, and the worst one was, uh, there was this rich guy who had a really big house, and from the front, it looks like a decent house, and you wouldn't think too much about it from driving by. But I actually would. So I have actually been on the property and walked around. When you saw the property from inside, you're like, "Holy shit, this is a mansion!" And the property is huge and really, actually, fucking nice. Why was this a bullshit job? I had to stand there on the street in front of the house, in front of the gate, just standing there. They got mad if you sat, but I would sit often because fuck that. Uh, in the heat, in the rain, it doesn't matter. My hometown is very hot, and I was out there in the summer, in the peak hottest days of the summer, where it was like 110 degrees plus 40 plus Celsius. So I would just be standing there in the shade doing absolutely nothing, sweating, bored to tears. And why was this bullshit? Because this rich guy wanted someone out there to look kind of important. It wasn't really to like secure the property. Somebody could have been in the back. Somebody could have been hopped over the fence, been in the back, breaking in. You wouldn't have known just standing there out front. It was also to watch after the son. So the son was a little older than me, like in his early 20s at the time. And he actually was pretty cool. He would often come by and I would talk to him. He invited me once to a party, but I felt like a peasant, so I was like, no, I'm not going to go. I wasn't supposed to let him come with friends. I was like supposed to kind of rat out the son if he was partying or bringing people. I didn't give a fuck. One time he came and there was a party and I didn't say anything. He invited me because, hey, you're don't snitch on me to my dad kind of thing. And the dad was this really weird old guy for having this. The son was just a few years older than me, and his dad was way older than my dad. Like he was like a kind of an old man, like almost retirement age. So he clearly had kids at a really old age, and he was this like Mr. Burns from The Simpsons kind of like like really old, grouchy, rich kind of guy vibe. Like he was almost like a cartoon character of a rich person. It was very bizarre, but he wanted that security guard standing there in the stupid cheap uniform, not even like this. I was not like a classy guard or anything. It was kind of a low budget, cheap security guard. But he wanted someone standing there so he could look important, maybe rat out his son or keep his son in check. Why? Like, let the kid just. He seemed like an okay guy. But such a bullshit job, just standing there so he could look important. What about you? Have you ever had a bullshit job? I would actually comment that because I would love to hear about some bullshit jobs. I would say like almost all my jobs I ever had were not bullshit. That was the only bullshit. I never had a corporate bullshit job. Being software engineer, it's like no, you always have work to do. You're actually building and shipping and actually building things that the company needs to make money on. I never had like a corporate bullshit job, like where I'm sitting around doing nothing. Some of the examples in the book are pretty wild. I would love to hear more bullshit jobs. I love that shit. That blows my mind. People sitting around doing nothing all day. Like, oh, it would be utterly miserable for me. That job was so utterly miserable. Like just standing there doing absolutely nothing. Oh, and they didn't want you on your phone. And I had a smartphone at the time. So I was like, yeah, fuck that. I have this cool phone. I was always on my phone. I didn't give a shit. It's like, fire me. This stupid bullshit job. Whatever. I'm not going to stand here like a soldier for, 8 hours doing nothing. Like that's just insane. All right. That's all I got for today. See you tomorrow.